All right. See, I only have like 2 minutes, so these videos I got to talk fast. But there's a lot of history connected to these comic books. Now I was on talking about the Bob Hope comic book, very popular comic book, along with the Jerry Lewis comic book in the '60s through up until the '70s. And here again, Bob Hope, always involving a woman. Very good, very funny comic book. I think one of the funniest. Now, at some point, they gave Bob Hope, because, like I said, it was those days comic books were considered for children, really, for kids, and it was very adult-oriented. So, to make it more kid-friendly, they gave him a talking dog, and then they gave him this guy called Super Hip, and he was a rock and roll guy, singer, and he had superpowers, and they called him Super Hip. He had, in his rock and roll band, they gave the Universal Monsters. You see, Dracula, the Bride of Dracula, the Frankenstein monster, the Wolfman were part of his band. Very weird the comic book became, because I guess they wanted to cash in, it was the 60s, on the rock and roll craze and the resurgence of the Universal Monsters at the time. So they combined them all in the Bob Hope comic book for some reason. And they took over the Bob Hope comic book. That's what happened there. Okay. So that's the history of those classic comedian comic books.